So you're hitting that big slice with your driver, curving the ball from left to right for the right-handed player, losing a lot of distance. It's weak, it's frustrating. Well, in today's video, I'm going to share the main reason why you're slicing it and how to fix it. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Danny Malcolm, and in today's video, I'm going to share the number one reason, the only reason why the ball is slicing with your driver. Now, there's a lot of causes for a slice. There's lots of things that can happen in the swing that might cause some of the slice, but ultimately it comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that is, yep, you guessed it, the club face. Where is your club face pointing at impact? So when we're slicing the ball, it means I'm going to talk about two things: club path and club face relative to that. So regardless of what your club path, let's say that yellow stick is your club path, and let's just, regardless of where that is, if you're slicing it, if the ball for a right-handed player is curving to the right, it's telling us that your club face relative to the club path is open or pointing to the right for a right-handed player. If that's what you're presenting, assuming a decent strike, that's going to produce a curvature from left to right. So what do we need to do to stop the slice? Well, we need to get that club face either pointing at the target or left. So let's get into it. So when you look at the club face, if it's open relative to the path, you're going to be hitting a shot very similar to that, and relative to your path, your club face is going to be opening through impact. So it would look something like that. So I've got a club path of way out to in there at -12, and a club face that's 9 degrees open. That's open relative to that path. So unfortunately, when you are trying to fix a slice, there's two elements to it, two key elements, and that is club path and club face. But let's start with club face, because often in my 17 years of coaching, it's been the club face that is the main reason why we then swing across it to then cause a slice. So we need to get control of that first. Let's control the club face. So what I love to get players to do is just get that closed relative to your path to start with. So can we get that club face pointing left of the target? And let's overdo it, because if you're a chronic slicer, it's going to be presenting open pretty much all of the time. So we need to feel the complete opposite. And what that's actually going to do is start to hit the shots straight left. So not exactly what you're looking for, but it's stopping the slice. Once we start to get that ball starting left and curving left, then you can start to work on your club path, but only then. So let's get this club face pointing left and some key ideas as to how to do that. So firstly, what is the biggest influence on this club face? The grip. So this is not the only way. I would recommend seeing a coach and to help you find why your club face is open, but I'm going to give you some ideas that you can explore. And the first one is strengthening your grip. So what I mean by strengthening the grip for a right-handed golfer is we're going to move our hand positioning further over to our right. So we're going to see more knuckles on this lead hand. The logo of your glove will point more to the sky. You can maybe see about 3 knuckles on that hand. V between thumb and forefinger on your lead hand is going to point more towards your right shoulder, or even further to the right. And then you just try and match your right hand up to that as well. So that's going to strengthen the grip, which is going to strengthen the club face, because oftentimes if my hands then fall back into this more comfortable position, you'll see that club face starts to close. So this is the biggest influence. It probably feels the most uncomfortable whenever you're changing the grip, but that's one way to close the club face. Second to that, sometimes a simpler way, is just to take your normal grip and set up with the club face pretty square relative to your target. But then what I want you to do is just turn that club face in quite a bit there. Take your normal grip from here, and then when you place the club on the ground, I'm going to get you to get that face then square relative to your target. So now you'll see what that's done to my grip. So that's another way to get a a stronger grip, which is going to give you more of a closing club face through the swing. So that's key number one. And then what you will see once I've got that, so this stronger grip, you should start to see the club face that is starting to close relative to the path. So that's giving you a much stronger flight, but to the left. So that's number one to look out for. Number two, and probably a bit more challenging, is to start to look at where the club face is during the swing, in particular the backswing. So oftentimes if your club face is open, it means that this club face is rotating more this way. And then at the top of the swing, you'll often see that the toe of the club is pointing more down to the ground. So what we're going to do is get a sensation of getting that club pointing a little bit more toward the ground. So matching the spine angle would be wonderful, but a bit more toward the ground. And then when you move to the top of the swing, you'll see this lead wrist is pretty flat as well. And you just notice where that club face is at this point. You see it's pointing much more towards the sky. That's a stronger club face. So from there, if I demonstrate again, so club face more towards the ground. Then at the top of the swing, flatter lead wrist with the club face more towards the sky. And then what you should see is that club face pointing a little bit more left at impact. So that's a long way left. So really just wanting to see what it feels like, and who cares that on the range you hit it way left like that. This is, we want to see the complete opposite to a slice. So if you're having your club face 9 degrees, 7, 8, 9 degrees open relative to your path, let's see what it feels like to have it 7, 8, 9 degrees closed relative to your path, so you can feel the other extreme of it. Once you've got that more ingrained, having that stronger club face, then we can start to work on that club path. So you can see that club face is king, so we've got to get that fixed first. I mean, sometimes you can work on the path first, but if you do that with an open club face, you'll start to get shots way out to the right. So that's why I like to work on the club face first, then you can start to work on that club path, because now with the stronger club face, you've got reason to swing the club on the inside. Because why does the ball slice with the club path being out to in? So the club path's more across with that open face. So now you've got a stronger club face. Now we can start to work on getting that club path more on the inside. So this is where lots of different ideas and drills to work on this. But a simple one I like to feel is, if you're a tennis player or a table tennis player, that sensation of, if your right hand was the bat, that sensation of you're trying to hit a sort of top spin forehand where your bat or the club face is closed towards the ground, but you're swinging into out and up and over, particularly with the driver, because you want to hit up on it more too, but you're going to get the club working more in this fashion. So a closed face with a club that's working more into out. So you bring the driver into play, closed face, club's working more into out. So that would be the opposite of open face and club working out, in and across. So then you can start to work on those feels, combining whatever ideas you've done to get a stronger face, but combining that with a club path that works into out, and you'll start to get the opposite. You start to get the opposite club path. So that was +7 club path, -8. So I've really exaggerated both ideas there to create a hook. So the complete opposite to a slice. So once you've felt them extremes, you can show that you can stop a slice. So if you're on a golf course and you're hitting it way right, it's going to be the club face is open. And then depending on where your club path is, depends on the curvature and where it starts. So some wonderful ideas there. Let's get control of your club face first, and then you can start to work on different ideas to get the club path more into out and to match up the great work you've done with your club face. So there you go, there's my number one reason that we slice the driver. Give those ideas a try. Any questions, let me know, and thanks again, and we'll see you next time.